What if I told you the greatest anime movies aren't the ones everyone talks about? Hidden beneath the fame of Ghibli and Shinkai classics are 10 quiet masterpieces. Films that don't just entertain, but haunt you. Stories about grief, love, time, and sacrifice. They aren't loud, but they stay. I'm your friendly neighbor Top 10, and today we're giving these underrated emotional gems the spotlight they deserve. Let's begin. At number 10, we have Patema Inverted. In a world split by gravity. Patema falls upward into a sky that's not hers there. She meets a boy from a society that fears her kind. Their connection is instant, but the world tries to pull them apart. Literally, the tunnel escape scene, where they cling to each other as gravity tears at their bodies, becomes a perfect metaphor for love and resistance. Patema Inverted is part sci-fi, part rebellion, part fairy tale. It's about how systems divide us above and below, us and them, but it's also about how connection defies logic. Patema and Age don't just fight gravity, they fight prejudice, they fight fear, and when they finally stand together in a world flipped upside down, you feel that hope isn't weightless, it's something you hold on to. In a war-torn sky, a hired pilot must escort a princess across enemy lines. They come from different worlds. He, a poor outsider. She, a symbol of unity. But in that fragile cockpit, class, rank, and duty disappear. They laugh, argue, connect. And just when something more seems possible, he delivers her safely and walks away. No confession, no kiss, just duty. The princess and the pilot is a restrained tragedy. Its heartbreak comes not from betrayal, but from honor. That final flight, scored with Ave Maria, becomes a funeral for what could have been. It's a romance without reward, a bond formed in fire, severed by responsibility. Sometimes the greatest love stories are the ones that never start, because not all endings are failures. Some are just the right kind of goodbye. Moving on to number 8, A Letter to Momo. After her father dies, Momo moves to a remote island with her mother. She carries guilt. Her last words to him were angry ones. She also carries a letter he never finished. Strange spirits appear, chaotic but oddly comforting. They aren't here to haunt her. They're here to help her grieve. As the island storms, so does her heart. The scene where Momo finally screams for her father in the pouring rain is more than catharsis. It's surrender. A Letter to Momo is about unspoken apologies and the slow, fragile healing of a child's heart. The fantasy is gentle, the emotion overwhelming. The spirits fade, but the grief doesn't. It just softens. This isn't about ghosts. It's about how we carry those we've lost until we're ready to say goodbye. Then at number 7, we have Maquia. When the promised flower blooms, Maquia belongs to an immortal race. One day, she finds a human baby after a battle and chooses to raise him, knowing he'll age, and she won't. What follows is a brutal, beautiful portrait of motherhood across time. Ariel grows, resents her, forgets her. Maquia stays the same, watching as he lives, loves, and eventually leaves. The film doesn't shy away from the pain of parenthood. It amplifies it through the lens of eternity. The scene where grown-up Ariel yells, "You're not my mother," breaks more than hearts. It breaks silence. And yet she stays, always watching, always loving. Maquia is a story of love that asks for nothing in return. It's about the loneliness of mothers, the cruelty of time, and the courage to let go. Because sometimes love means being forgotten. Number 6, it's the girl who leapt through time. Makoto discovers she can leap through time. At first, she uses it like a teenager would, fixing awkward moments, escaping embarrassment, cheating fate. But time doesn't give gifts. It takes interest. She learns too late that her leaps have consequences, accidents, distance, and loss. When her final jump is wasted and her best friend faces death, reality crashes in. Time travel becomes a metaphor for growing up. Every leap forward means leaving something behind. The moment she realizes she can't save her aunt from death is the moment childhood ends. The film isn't about romance. It's about regret. Makoto's last promise isn't to relive the past. It's to face the future. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is about the price of time and the impossibility of second chances. Because no one gets to stay young forever. At number 5, it's 5 centimeters per second. Takaki and Akari were childhood sweethearts. Then came distance, letters, silence. Makoto Shinkai's quiet masterpiece doesn't end in reunion. It ends in emotional surrender. Love doesn't die with drama. It dies slowly like snowfall. Each chapter shows time's quiet theft. Missed trains, unread messages, years gone in a blink. By the final scene, where Takaki smiles and walks past Akari without a word, you understand, he's not heartbroken. He's numb. That's what makes this film devastating. It's not about what happens. It's about what doesn't. No second chances. No big gestures. Just two people who once meant everything, now reduced to memories. 5 centimeters per second hurts not because it ends in pain, but because it ends in nothing at all. Love can outgrow you, and sometimes you walk away without turning back. Number 4 is Tokyo Godfathers. 3 homeless strangers find a baby in a dumpster on Christmas Eve. It sounds like comedy. It becomes a miracle. Jin, Miyuki, and Hana, each broken by past they can't outrun, search Tokyo for the child's mother. But they're really searching for themselves. Hana, a transgender woman, cradles the baby and remembers the child she lost. That's the moment the film shifts from chaotic to sacred. Satoshi Kon trades surrealism for something more radical, compassion. No monsters, no illusions, just messy, hurting people finding one good thing to live for. Tokyo becomes a labyrinth of near misses and divine coincidences. But the message is clear. You don't have to be fixed to do something meaningful. Tokyo Godfathers is about the miracles born in broken places. It doesn't ask for belief. It just shows you one. On number 3, it's Wolf Children. Hana falls in love with a werewolf. When he dies, she's left to raise 2 half-wolf children alone. She moves to the countryside, hides their nature, and sacrifices everything. This is a story about motherhood, raw, real, and painful. Every scraped knee, every silent night, every choice between survival and letting go. In the blizzard scene, Hana coughs blood while digging through snow to find her son. That's not fantasy. That's love with no reward. Her children eventually choose opposite paths, human and wolf, and Hana, exhausted, lets them go. She's not rewarded. She's not thanked. She just is. Wolf Children is a myth wrapped in realism, a celebration of quiet parenting and unspoken strength. And when the wind blows through the mountains at the end, you realize she was never weak. She was just always alone. At number 2 most underrated, this Oscar-winning animated short delivers a lifetime of emotion. An elderly man lives alone in a flooded city, forced to build his house upward as the water rises. When he drops his pipe into the depths, a dive to retrieve, it becomes a journey through his memories, each submerged floor revealing fragments of his past, his daughter's wedding, his wife's final moments, and the childhood home now buried underwater. Director Kunio Kato uses stunning watercolor visuals and zero dialogue to craft a meditation on loss, time, and the homes we carry in our hearts. The film's power lies in its quiet details. A floating teacup, a half-painted wall, or the way the old man's hands tremble as he reunites with his past in a fleeting, bittersweet dream. Tsumiki no, i.e., isn't just animation, it's visual poetry. By the final shot, where past and present collide in a single breath, you'll understand why this gem is hailed as one of the greatest short films ever made. At number 1, the criminally overlooked Shashinkan, a 22-minute Studio Ghibli-esque gem that photographs the soul. This Makoto Shinkai-produced short follows an old photo studio where time stands still. Through 3 generations of the family, we witness life's fleeting moments frozen in silver halide. A couple's first portrait, a child's growth, a widow's final visit. The animation breathes life into actual vintage photographs, making every sepia-toned frame ache with nostalgia. These films aren't just stories. They're emotional time capsules, waiting for the right moment to break you. Which one shattered you the most? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for part 2, where we dive into underrated anime series next. Because great stories don't need fame, just the right audience. And if you made it this far, maybe that audience is you.